Hello, gorgeous girls and beautiful boys, men and women. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. All right, my name is Dominique Olai and I'm a product manager. So, what do I do on this channel? I assist entry level product managers. So, if you're thinking, if you've decided that what you want to do is to become a product manager, you're welcome. Come here, come and have a seat. Come and sit here. Come and sit right here. So I actually started this channel so that I can assist you while you transition into becoming an exceptional product manager. Do you get? I want to be there like see babe now, see boy now. So that's that's what I do here. Now, last week we talked about user persona. That is what we talked about last week. We are talking about people, user persona. That was what we talked about last week. This week, today, we are talking about user stories. Like Tori. I like Tori. I they like listen to Tori. Enough Tori. Okay, so enough. We are talking about user stories today. I actually like writing a lot, and every opportunity I get to write, I grab it. I love writing a lot. I write a lot. And I think one thing I really love, out of so many things I love about being a product manager, one thing I love is the ability to write user stories. Oh my god. I consider it a privilege. All right, so now let's get into it. User stories, you know now, those magical sentences that are supposed to bridge the gap between what users need and what developers build. So they are not just for the users, they are because your developers are going to be using it, right? So it's not just for the users, it should bridge the gap between your users and the developers. It should be clear and understandable. That is what user stories are meant to be. But if you are anything like I used to be, I'm going to be sharing so many things about me. And well, I'm proud of it. We all grow. We all grow. We all grow. So don't if you use it against me, I'ma sue you. I'ma sue your ass. Now, if you were anything like I used to be, right? Your user stories probably look something like this. If you laugh as a user, I want to do stuff so that I can accomplish things. No, it wasn't this bad. No, to be honest, no, my user story was never this bad. I'm just trying to say that this user story is meaningless. You can feel like you've written something, but it is so meaningless. Somewhere a developer is pulling their hair out trying to figure out what stuff means and why they should care about things. You've not said anything to them, they don't understand it. But at the end of this video, you will know how to write user stories that developers will actually thank you for instead of passively aggressively questioning in. They will disturb your sleep at 2 a.m. because I feel like that's when they have inspiration to start working. Is it at 2 a.m.? God will catch you, you be awake. They will just you just on your teams or Slack. So if you write very good user stories, right, your developers will not even stress you, they will just get to work. So now let's do this. Let's turn story shaped disasters into development goals. Shall we? Now there are gonna be sections in this video. So let's start from the very first section. Why most user stories are terrible. Let's be brutally honest about why most user stories are not so good. I've seen thousands of these, and they usually fall into these categories of awfulness. Let's look at the first one, the vague disaster. You know, when you say something like, as a user, I want better performance so that the application works well. Better performance, how? Works well for what? This tells the developer absolutely nothing useful. You actually feel like you've written something, Abby, but to developers, you've said nothing. They will just go and develop. If they are even kind to you, they will come back and tell you that they don't understand. But if they are not, they will just go. You will see that they come back, they've developed nothing. So that is it. Now the second awfulness is the feature disguised as a story. Hmm. You have something like, as a user, I want a dark mode toggle so that I can switch teams. This is not describing a user need, it's just describing a feature you already decided to build. You've already written out that feature. What you are saying is you are explaining the meaning of that feature to people. You've not said anything about, you've taken the user out of that feature. You are just explaining, oh, what transaction is. You are not saying it from the point of view of that user. Now let's look at the epic novel. Oh lord. You see something like, as a marketing manager who works in a fast-paced environment and needs to track multiple campaigns simultaneously while coordinating with cross-functional teams. Hello, hello, come back, come back. Relax, you have escaped. Come back. That is too much. It is too much. If your user story needs table of content, you are doing it wrong. It shouldn't be too much. If that is user story, not epic, we are coming to it. That is a lot. It is a lot. Now, the other one is the missing context special. You see this one? It shows simple story with no acceptance criteria. As a customer, I want to see my order history so that I can track purchases. And great. How far back? Like how many months? What do you on that screen? How many months ago? How many transactions? What's the detail? What information should be included? What if there are no orders? What about returned items? Like, are they going to be captured in that user story that did you even capture? Did you even capture them? I remember in my first PM role, I wrote what I thought was a brilliant user story. Let me give you the example. As a user, if you like laugh, I'm coming to go and laugh at you too. As a user, I want to upload files so that I can share them. I know that so many people still write this thing. Yes, some of us still do. 2 weeks later, the developer delivered exactly what I asked for. A file upload button that accepted any file type, had no size limits, no preview, and dumped everything in a folder called stuff. Exactly. That was what. See, the truth is that it was technically, it met the requirements, but it was completely unusable. That's when I learned that developers are not mind readers. We always say that they don't read, but they are not mind readers. They really do not have that time. I'm telling you people now. I'm telling you people now. They are not mind readers. They are literal interpreters of what you write. See, the way you wrote it, that's how they will build it. So help them to build, to write user stories that they can really interpret into something meaningful. Now, the second section is the anatomy of a great user story. If you did biology or Greek, you will understand what anatomy, like the inside of the inside. That's anatomy. So great user stories follow a simple but powerful formula. I learned this, so let me break it down. The classic format: as a specific user type, as a specific, not just user, as a specific user type. I want specific capability. Can you see? Specific user type, specific capabilities, so that specific benefits or outcome. But here's the secret sauce: each part needs to be specific and meaningful. Because you are putting specific, it doesn't mean that it will not be meaningful. It must be meaningful. So now let's look at this bad one. As a user, I want to search so that I can find things. Bele, you want to search so that you can find, come finding it now. But let's look at the good side. As a frequent buyer, I want to search by product category and price range so that I can quickly find affordable items in my area of interest. Jumia, is that you? Can you see the difference between the bad and the good? Now, the difference is the good version tells us who, that is the frequent buyer, not a first time visitor. What? Specific search functionality with filters. Why? Speed and relevance for purchase decisions. That is what they want to work. That is what the user wants. Now there's this criteria that I also I was taught, and it's the invest criteria. So I have INVEST, invest. Great user stories are one, independent, they can be developed separately, they are negotiable, details can be discussed, you can always move it around, you can always say, okay, let's do it this way, let's do it this way. V, valuable, provides clear user benefits. It's not just very vague and bland and nothing. It must provide clear user benefits. Estimable, developers can size the work. On Jira, there's this thing that you can allocate a time to a particular feature. So this one, if you have a feature, right, developer can estimate how many minutes, how many hours it's going to take for them to work on that particular feature. So developer can size the work. S, it fits in a sprint. It fits in a sprint, like it is sizable. Then the T, testable, has clear success criteria. So if your story doesn't check these boxes, it needs work. You need to work on that user story. Now, the other section is the three levels of user story detail. See, here's something most PMs don't realize. User stories exist at three different levels, and you need to match your detail to the right level. Now, the first one is epic. I don't know if you've heard epics, epics, epics. Now, user story, I mean, the epic part is the big part, like the very robust story. Now it is high level vision. As a small business owner, I want to manage my inventory efficiently so that I can avoid stock out and reduce waste. This is very big, it is very profound, it is a lot, right? But you know what, you can break it down to the level 2, which is the feature story. This one is print ready. Let's look at an example. As a store manager, I want to receive automated low stock alerts for products below my defined threshold so that I can reorder before running out. Now, the first one, which is the epic, this is your North Star. It captures the big picture, but is not ready for development. Do you understand? Now, this feature story, it is specific enough to estimate and build, but still focuses on the user outcome. It has not taken out the user outcome. You have just broken it down. That's epic. You've just taken it down. You've broken it down into smaller bits. Now, the third level is the task story. This one is implementation detail. As a store manager, I want to set minimum stock levels for each product so that the system knows when to alert me. This break down the feature into buildable chunks, like very tiny buildable chunks. Do you understand? So we have the epic, which is like the very big one that even when you tell people, they'll be like, what are you trying to say? Then you bring it to the feature story, then you bring it to the tax story. So now I used to write everything at level 3, thinking I was being helpful because I don't want to just start from the very big complex one and start speaking a lot of English and all of that, putting too much words and all of that. But instead, what I was doing was I was micromanaging the development process and missing opportunities for better solutions. When I started writing at level 2 and letting developers suggest the level 3 breakdown, our solutions got way better. Our velocity increased. That was what happened. Because the truth is, developers, your development team, right, from the feature story, they can see more stories from that feature story. But when you've already broken it down, they feel like that is the last level. There is nothing to be brought out of that feature story. But now when you leave it at it, even level 1, which is the epic, everybody can come out with different user stories that will actually assist that development. So now the other section is acceptance criteria. People don't realize, let me just chip this in. People don't realize that sometimes they write user stories without acceptance criteria. They actually feel like they've written acceptance criteria, but that user story, there is no acceptance. It did not capture the acceptance criteria. Like they just leave it there, like, oh, acceptance criteria. But then sometimes the acceptance criteria still looks like the user story. So now the acceptance criteria is the developer's best friend. I like the acceptance criteria because it makes our work very, very easier. The user stories are the what. Acceptance criteria are the how we will know it is done. This is where the magic happens. So great acceptance criteria are specific and measurable. They are written from the user's perspective. I want to do this so that this we've captured the user story. The acceptance criteria is that when a this they get this. You've captured the acceptance criteria. They are written from the user's perspective and they cover happy parts and edge cases. They include non-functional requirements. So now let's look at this example. User story. As a mobile user, I want to view my recent transactions so that I can track my spending. Let's look at acceptance criteria. 1. Given I am logged into the mobile app, when I navigate to the transaction section, then I see my 20 most recent transactions. Do you understand? When even you as a product manager, before you give that application to QA, you can test with this acceptance criteria that what you've written has been met. Now, another acceptance criteria from this user story is given I have given I have no transaction history, when I navigate to the transaction section, then I see a helpful message explaining how to make my first purchase, still from the first user story. Another acceptance criteria from this same user story, given I am viewing my transactions, when I pull down to refresh, then the list updates with any new transactions. That's the third acceptance criteria. Now let's look at another one. Given I have poor network connectivity, when the transactions fail to load, then I see a clear error message with retry option. You see, notice how we've covered the happy part, the empty state, the refresh scenario, and even the error case. That's how you prevent those 2 a.m. Slack or team messages because you've been able to capture all the parts. everything that can happen from that user stories. Now let's look at this section: common user story anti-patterns and how to fix them. I'm not going to leave you an hanging. We are going to fix them together. So now let's look at some user stories that are disastrous, and these are some of the things that I've seen all the time, and let's look at how to fix them. Anti-pattern one: the feature story or the feature factory. As a user, I want the notification bell icon so that I can see notifications. And it will be there now. Is there any application that doesn't have that notification icon? It will be there. This one only describes the UI, not the user need. You have only said that thing for the user. You've only written the user story for the UI designer. You have not done anything for the users. Now let's look at a better user story. As an active community member, I want to be notified when someone replies to my post so that I can continue conversations in real time. See how it is different from that other one. Now, the anti pattern two, the internal process. This one, it happens a lot. A whole lot. As a developer, I want to refactor the authentication system so that the code is cleaner. Anyway, you see, internal improvements are not user stories. Oh, I can develop user story for you as a developer, but they are not user stories. Those are internal improvements. Do you understand? Now let's look at it from this angle. As a returning customer, I want to log in quickly and securely so that I can access my account without friction. That is what that user story should be. The anti-pattern three, the everything badger. This one, as a user, I want a comprehensive dashboard that shows all my data with advanced filtering, sorting, exporting, real-time updates, and customizable layers so that I can do my job better. Anyway, hello. One story, 17 features. Let's break it down. As an analyst, I want to see my key metrics at a glance so that I can quickly assess performance. To do or you see something like, as a data user, I want to filter my dashboard by date range so that I can focus on specific time periods. Ta-dum! You see, those are good user stories, and so on. The list goes on. You don't have to pack all the features, except you want to make it your epic. Then you start breaking it down into feature and tag story. But if you want to say that skinny that I just read is your user story, have mercy on us, please. So there was a time I wrote a user story that was so broad, and the developer asked if I wanted them to build the entire internet. My developers, they banter a lot too. Those ones. So the user story was, as a user, should I even say this? I want to access all relevant information so that I can make informed decisions. Guess what that developer told me? I don't want to call names because I know that boy will come for me on one day. He said, define relevance, define information, define informed, and define decisions. That day was so funny. So that was when I learned that specificity isn't the enemy of creativity. Because you are specific about something doesn't mean that you are not creative. It just means that it's the foundation of good solutions. You don't want to keep people in just a box, in a maze. You want to take them out of that maze, let people walk freely, let people understand clearly what we are trying to do. Now, this other section, the developer collaboration secret. Here's the secret that most PMs don't know. And this is something that has really, really worked for me. The best user stories are written with developers, not for them. You don't just write that user story and just say, guys, I'm done. Oh, this is it. No, please always involve your development team. The three amigos approach that I have learned is, you need to get a PM, which is you, a developer, and QA person. Now, a developer could be like the whole development team, really, and the QA person together to discuss each story before it goes into a sprint. I'm going to talk about sprints. I got certified as a Scrum Master, so I have like an understanding of what sprints, daily scrum call, what they are, and probably in some other video, future video, we can talk about that. Now, what happens when you do this three amigos approach is that the PM, you explain the user need and business context. The developer suggests implementation approaches. The QA identify potential edge cases. Now, what happens is that everyone refines the acceptance criteria together. See, PM, this is what you do. User want to upload profile pictures. your developer will say something like, okay, what file types, what size limits, how do we handle really large images? You see QA, those ones, they are the devil's advocates. I said what I said. You see those ones, but I actually like the way they reason. So they will say something like, what if someone uploads an inappropriate image? What about users with slow connections? You see, they are always thinking that, I think that is why they always carry out negative tests on their on applications. And it's so beautiful the way they think. I really, really like QAs a lot, a lot. But you know what? This 10 minutes conversation prevents weeks of back and forth later, because trust me, QA, they will come back, they will be sending reports and they will say, so application is on hold though, because you've not really written a good user story and acceptance criteria for that particular project. So ensure that you practice that amigos approach. It will help you a lot. Now let's look at this definition of ready checklist. Before a story enters a sprint, make sure it has clear user value, detailed acceptance criteria, UI mock-ups or wireframes if needed, dependencies identified, size estimates from the team. So you need to capture all of those things. Clear user value. What is it going to give to the user? Why are we doing this thing? What benefit is it going to give? Detailed acceptance criteria. If user should do this, this is what should happen. You need to create like a UI mockups or wireframe so that you can see those things, say yes to those things before they even go into development. Dependencies identified. Okay, so this is the technical dependencies. These are the things that this particular project or this feature is dependent on. Size estimates from the team. Okay guys, we've already captured everything. How long is it going to take us for us to work on this features? How long is it going to take? You need to capture all of that. And once you start doing the three amigo section, what happens is that your user story revision rate will drop. The rate will drop by 70%, let's say. Developers will stop coming back with clarifying questions. We don't understand, which is not their fault. It is you, not them. And your sprint predictability improves dramatically. That's what will happen. Like it will improve dramatically if you are able to like capture the three amigos, you, developer, and the QA. That is what happened. Now, let me share this template that I use that has really really helped me. So it looks like a like it's more detailed than the regular user stories, and it has title. So I have like a one line summary. As a specific user persona, I want specific capabilities so that so that specific benefits or outcome will come. Do you understand? Also, background context. I always put background and context in my user story. I write why this matters now, relevant constraints. I also capture all of those things. Then we have the acceptance criteria. Of course, you have to write given, that is the context, when, that is the action, then expected results. Now I also include like out of scope, what we are not doing in this story. I always want to include that. Then dependencies, other stories or technical work required first. What do we need to do before we start working on this? So I want to capture all of that. Then I had notes. Probably there's like additional context. There is link to research, etc. I want to capture all of those things. My favorite story writing tools. I use Linear. I don't know if anyone uses Linear. I use Linear. It has a clean interface, great for linking stories to epics. I don't know, but I've used Linear like couple of times. Notion, of course, I use Notion. It is awesome for adding context and research link. There is a video on Notion, Jira, and Trello that I created. You can always watch that. Even Jira, I use Jira because it gets the job done. That is if you set up the template, you set it up very well. It has very good templates that you can use. Now, I want to explain something that I've been saying. You know that, so that I want to this so that, you see that, so that, if that, so that part of your story is not, it doesn't have a meaningful user benefit, you probably don't have a real user story yet. You see that, so that, that is the, that is like everything that will happen with that user story. So you must ensure that your so that is very very meaningful. Don't do something like so that I can click the button. And you will click the button now. That's not a benefit. If you click the button, what should happen when you click the benefit? Or don't say something like so that I can use the feature. And you're on the application, you will use the feature. That one is like a secular logic. But look at so that I can complete my purchase faster. That sounds like a real benefit. So do we see the differences? Don't just leave it empty and bland. Don't do that. Ensure that it is properly captured. Now, how do you measure success? Did your stories did they work? You want to measure that success. So I have like two indicators that I use. I use the story quality indicators and user outcome indicators. So the part of the story quality indicators, revision rates, how often stories change after sprint planning. If we start this sprint today, and this is the user story that we use, and in the next sprint we are using another user story for that thing, then something is wrong. Clarification questions from developers. If my developers keep coming back, then something is also wrong. That means they don't understand it. Now, if stories miss sprint commitments due to unclear requirements, something is wrong. If we have to move, we have to slip over to the next sprint because something happened to the requirements, something is wrong. And if time from story creation to completion is too long, if we said, oh, we are going to spend just 3 months on this thing, and now the blocker is that user story, you see that something is definitely the quality of that story is very weak. Now, the user outcome indicators, are the feature being used as expected? You want to capture that. Are user satisfaction metrics improving? Did the feature solve the original problem? You actually wrote that user story because there is a problem that you are trying to solve. So you should be able to like measure these metrics. So what I do is I keep a simple spreadsheet tracking these metrics for each epic. So when I see patterns, like stories for a particular feature are always needing clarification. That's a pattern. If I see it, then I know that I need to improve my research or I need to involve SMEs earlier. So that is what happened. Now, great user stories are not just about following a format. It's not as a this I want to. It's not just about following that format. They're about creating shared understanding between everyone on your team. I feel like I sometimes I well I don't know how to work without the development team really. If there is something, everybody is involved. We win together. We don't get it right together. Not like, oh, this. We always I always want to like work with them together. So you must engage everyone on your theme. And don't forget the principles we mentioned today. Be specific about users, capabilities, and benefits. Include acceptance criteria that cover edge cases. Do not forget, write with your team, not just for them. Don't write it. I know say you know book. Guys, I'm done. So you can check it out. You even say if you have any question, you just say, I'm done. So you guys can start developing. Excuse me. Excuse you. Focus on user outcome, not internal processes alone. So you also need to focus on user outcome. Keep stories small and sprint size. Your sprint is just for 2 weeks. Why you writing user stories that will take more than 2 weeks? So you even want to just keep moving things into the next sprint. Why you have so many things in your backlog? Have you forgotten? And now, here's the secrets that no one talks about. I've seen the joy on the faces, the excitement on the faces of my developers. Like when developers want to build things that matter to users, you see when they say it like, oh, I actually worked on that, there's this excitement that shows on their face when they say that, oh, I was also part of those that worked on that project. So when you write stories that clearly connect their work to user value, you are not just making their job easier, you are making it more meaningful. They find joy, they are happy about it. As much as you are also happy, they are also happy about it. So yeah, guys, that's it for today. If you've had success improving your user stories, please drop a comment sharing your tips. And if you are struggling with a specific type of story, also drop a comment. Let's talk about it. Do you understand? Now, gentlemen, fine girls, go and invite your friends. Bring them here. Bring them here. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to share. We're always talking sweet things. It's not these are stories that we talked about today now. So sweet, so beautiful, so straight to the point. So that's what we do here. We talk things that are meaningful. Don't forget to like. or else you will see me in your dreams. Don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to share. Until I see you next week, write beautiful user stories, meaningful user stories, and have a splendid week. Bye.